welcome back to the course of Mathematics 1. Today we start with a new chapter, Fourier series. Earlier we have discussed about the Taylor and Maclaurin series. If the function is differentiable function, then the function can be explained in power of x or in power of x minus n. That is known as Taylor series representation. But if the function is not differentiable, in such cases, suppose you want to represent in series form, and that you can represent based on Fourier series, but there is some restriction, and that restriction can be converted series in terms of sine and cosine terms, and that we are going to learn in this chapter. So let's have a look at the quick outline of this chapter. What we are going to learn in this chapter. First we will see the basic introduction with the application, and later on we will discuss about the example which are based on the periodic function with the period p is equal arbitrary, that is 2l. Also we will discuss about the 2 pi, and if suppose that the interval look like minus l to plus l, also how we can represent Fourier series, and that is also we will discuss. And all together we will discuss about the continuous or discontinuous functions are there, so in such cases how we can represent the Fourier series, so we are going to discuss. And finally we will see the half range Fourier cosine and sine series is called half range series. So let's have a look at the first introduction part. So Fourier series is used in the analysis of the periodic function, but here question arises, so what is the periodic function? That is we are going to discuss in the consecutive slides. Many of the phenomena studied in engineering and science are periodic in nature. For example, current and voltage in an AC current. It decomposes a periodic function into sum of sine and cosine series. The computation and study of the Fourier series is known as harmonic analysis. It has many applications in the electrical engineering, vibration analysis, acoustics, optics, signal processing and image processing. Now look at the first condition, that was the periodic function. So when we say that the function is periodic function, so if f of x plus p is equal f of x for all x, then the function is what exactly periodic function. If I talk about the first simple function f of x is equal sin x, so if I assume that f of x plus 2 pi, so what will be? So here you can say sin x plus 2 pi, and that is what exactly sin x, and that is how we can say this is the sin x. We know that that is 2 pi plus something, it is going to be first quadrant. In a first quadrant we can say that all the trigonometric functions are positive, and hence we can say that that is the sin x. But sin x is what? That is our basic function f of x. So what we have shown that f of x plus 2 pi is equal f of x, but when we compare with these, so clearly we can say that p is what exactly, that is the 2 pi. So sin x is what exactly 2 pi periodic function. Now look at the graphical representation of the sine function. As we know that graph of the sine function is like that. Sin 0, that is 0, sin pi, that is 0, sin 2 pi, that is 0, but when we take sin pi by 2, so answer is that is 1, sin 3 pi by 2, answer is minus 1. So this is the graph of y is equal sin x. So here curve starting from here and it is going to be end here. That means one cycle is finished from 0 to 2 pi, so length is going to be 2 pi. So therefore we can say one period is finished with the period that is 2 pi. And the same argument you can follow for the y is equal 10x. So what will be the period? So here you can see that the x is equal pi by 2, that is 10 pi by 2 is nothing but infinite, and if you assume that x is equal minus pi by 2, so answer is going to be minus infinite, and we know that the graph of the 10 function is like this one. So this is what exactly unbounded function at x is equal plus or minus pi by 2. Exactly same figure follow from the next consecutive. So this is going to be what exactly? Here this is the pi, so we can say this is the pi by 2 and this is the 3 pi by 2. So length from this interval pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2 is what exactly? That is the only pi. 10 function is a periodic function. Periodic function with a period p is equal what exactly? That is the pi. So that is we will keep in mind that. So now let's have a look at the another part. So a number p is called periodic function of f of x. The smallest positive value of p is called the fundamental, or we can say primitive period. So here, for example, sin x and cos x is a 2n pi periodic function, because we can observe that if I recall these functions. So this is starting from 0, ending with here 2 pi. Again it is going to be what exactly 4 pi. That means one cycle is finished here, another cycle is finished here. That means we can say this representation is carrying on next to 4 pi to 8 pi. That means we can say that 4 pi periodic function. Also we can say that the 6 pi and so on. So in general we can say that the smallest period is what exactly for sin x and cos x function is the 2 pi. So therefore we can say that the fundamental period is 2 pi. Also we can say that the periodic function for period of 10x is what exactly n pi, where n is greater than 0 and its fundamental period is pi. Already we have seen with the graphical representation. So now let's have a look at the first basic condition to represent the Fourier series. So this is the Dirichlet condition. If the 12 periodic function f of x is defined in the interval c to c plus 2l, and that can be expressed as a Fourier series if it is satisfied the following conditions. Which are the conditions? So first look at the condition. If the function must be bounded and single valued. What do you mean by the bounded function? If I say f of x is equal, that is what exactly? Less or equal 1, that means this function is bounded by what exactly? Minus 1 and plus 1. That means we can say that the function is bounded. And also it must be what the single valued function. That means if function is called single valued, if for each point in the domain it has the unique value in its range. Another is fx must have maxima and minimum. If I call about f of x is equal x square. So what we are going to get, f of 0 is equal, that is 0. F of 1 is equal 1. F of minus 1 is equal 1. But if I talk about minus 1 to 1 interval, so our graph, so for this interval what we are going to get, minimum at 0 and maximum at what exactly? X is equal 1 and minus 1. That means this function is what exactly? It has a maxima and a minima at particular points, that is x is equal 0, we can say function has a minimum, and x is equal plus or minus 1, function has a maximum value. F of x must be piecewise continuous in the interval c to c plus 12. That means this is what exactly? If I say this function is periodic function, that means I can extend this graph to what exactly? 1, 2, 3. So our graph is going to be what exactly same. Therefore from this figure also we can conclude that this function is what exactly? Periodic function with length is what? If I call about minus 1 to plus 1, so total length is, that is 2. Also if I talk about 1, 2, 3, same figure is going to here. So again length, that is 3 minus 1, that is also going to be 2. That means length is here 2 and same repetition is there. That means this function is periodic function. Also we can say it is piecewise continuous function in the sum interval. Now let's have a look at the example. F of x is equal 10x cannot be expressed as a Fourier series because it is unbounded, because x is equal pi by 2, so 10 pi by 2 is going to be infinite. That means function is not bounded, and hence we cannot find the Fourier series for the function f of x is equal 10x. And if I talk about f of x is equal sin inverse x, and also we cannot express such a Fourier series because it is not a single valued function, because sin inverse x, so in that case it takes different values like pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi and so on. So we get the different value, and hence we cannot find its Fourier series. If you look at the function f of x is equal sin x, and that can be expressed as a Fourier series because it satisfies the Dirichlet condition. So sin x function is bounded by what exactly? Plus 1 and minus 1. So we can say sin function is bounded by 1, and also it is what? Single valued function, because such values of x we can find the only unique value, and therefore we can say it is a single valued function. Also it has a maxima and minima in the provided interval. So sin function satisfy all the conditions, and therefore we can find the Fourier series. Now let's have a look at the first basic formulas which we are going to use in this chapter. So first one, we have the Leibniz rule. So integration uv dx can be written as u v1 minus u dash v2 plus u double dash u v3 minus and so on. But here v1, v2, v3 is what exactly integration. So we can say this is the integration part, but u dash, u double dash, and that is what exactly derivative part. So here first question arises that what should be u. So for our simplicity we will use derivative of u is finite, then we will consider the u. For example, if I say integration x square into sine 2x dx, suppose you want to integrate, so that is the question that what we can assume that u and v. But here if I suppose to take u, so it is going to be derivative, that is minus 2 cos 2x and then again minus 4 sin 2x and so on. That means there is no derivative finite. That means we cannot say u is equal sin 2x. So instead of that, what we will focus on, that we will focus on finite derivative. So here we have u is equal x square. So in that case we can find its finite derivative, and that will help integrate these functions. Also you can use the Liat rule, LIAT. Also already you are familiar with these rules, so I am not going to discuss in detail. Now look at the first example, integration x square sin x dx. So in that case derivative of u is equal x square, that is going to be reduced and it tends to be finite. Therefore we assume that the u is equal x square. Sin x is equal v. So according to formula, what was our formula? u v dx. U is there, then integration of v1 minus derivative of u, that is u dash, then we will write integration of v1, that is v2, then plus derivative of u dash, that is u double dash, and then integration of v2, that is going to be v3 minus and so on. So same formula we are going to use here. So first one, u is there, that means x square is there. Integration of sine, that is a minus cos x, minus derivative of x square, that is 2x, integration of minus cos x, that is going to be minus sin x, plus derivative of 2x, that is going to be only 2, integration of minus sin x, that is minus minus plus cos x, then derivative of 2, that is going to be 0. That means we have to stop here. Now another formulas are there, already you are familiar with these formulas, so you can remember, and that formula we will use in this chapter. These are also you are familiar. Whenever we consider cos 2n pi, so it is going to be what? 1. But if I say cos n pi, so answer is going to be minus 1 raised to 1. That means it takes positive value and also minus 1. But when it takes positive value, if I say n is equal even number, so it is going to be plus 1. If n is equal odd number, so in that case it will be minus 1. But if I take all the positive angles, so cos 2n pi is going to be 1. And cos n pi, it will tends to depend on the values of